down.
News 18 at 6 starts now. WLFI Lafayette. News from where you live.
Well, good evening. I'm Gina Quattrochi.
And I'm Jeff Smith. Thanks for joining us. Let's kick it off with weather. A 50-degree difference between today's current temperature and yesterday's high temperature.
It's rough. It's rough out there. Chief Meteorologist Chad Evans joins us now with a look at our forecast. Hi, Chad.
Yeah, hey there, Jeff and Gina. And just brutal wind chills are going to start coming in here tonight. Even now it's cold. We still have flurries and some scattered snow showers around. A lot of the heavier snow showers are pulling away, but there's still flakes kind of fluttering here and there. Notice the blue little light specks around the area, and there are still some slick spots on area roadways. Still some flurries up towards Rensselaer, Logansport, Kokomo as well. And snowfall totals have not been overly impressive. A nice little covering on the grass. I call this cat track snow. Barely enough to see cat tracks in it. 0.3 Logansport, 0.7 northern Miami County. A trace here at the station. 0.5 Clinton County. We'll talk more about more snow by tomorrow night. Stay tuned.
All right, Chad, thank you. This morning's weather led to multiple slide-offs on Interstate 65 in Clinton County, backing up traffic for hours. They happened just south of Frankfort around 9:30. These pictures were sent in by Sandra Corbin. According to Indiana State Police, about a dozen vehicles, including 3 semis, slid off into the median. Traffic was backed up about 4 miles for 3 hours while crews cleared the scene. No one was injured. Weather causing problems not only for drivers but for the roads as well. Crews with the Indiana Department of Transportation are working to fill potholes along the interstate. Spokeswoman Debbie Calder says with fluctuating temperatures, potholes are more likely to pop up. They begin when water seeps into the cracks in the road and freezes, which expands the layers of pavement, stone and soil beneath the surface as the ice melts and contracts. Heavy highway traffic loosens the pavement, creating potholes. Crews can only temporarily fix the potholes during the cold winter months. A more permanent fix will happen when the weather gets warmer and asphalt plants reopen. However, Calder says you can help make sure those potholes are taken care of.
Our maintenance crews are very good at getting out there to repair those potholes on a timely basis. But yeah, we still stress that if you see one, please report it and let us know.
To report a pothole, you can call toll-free, that number on your screen, 888-924-6368. You can also report it on INDOT's website.
We're ending January on a snowy note, but that was not the case for the rest of the month. In fact, meteorologists and climatologists say this January will end up being one of the least snowiest on record. Lafayette received under 1.5 inches of snow for the entire month, making this January one of about a dozen since 1887. Where the area received less than 2 inches of snowfall. Although there was a lack of snow, Lafayette had nearly a 2-inch surplus of rain for the month. The rain, along with warmer than average temperatures, actually ended up benefiting the Lafayette area.
For the entire state, we're near double the amount of precipitation that we normally get in January. So yes, it's been a very wet month.
Most of the precip has fallen as rain, so this is a very good foundation for the upcoming planting season as our drought is now officially gone.
Weather Team 18 says the first week of February may produce more snow than the entire month of January.
A Lafayette man now faces multiple felonies after police say he led them on a high-speed chase through Tippecanoe and White counties. According to court documents, 20-year-old Corey Kurtz has been charged with 5 felonies and a misdemeanor, including burglary, theft, and resisting law enforcement. Prosecutors say it started just before 5 o'clock Saturday evening when police officers were called to a home on Stillwell Street for a reported burglary. The residents indicated Kurtz had threatened to break in. About 40 minutes later, police got a call that Kurtz was pointing a firearm at someone and had left the scene in a gold Lincoln. Officers tracked the car from State Road 26 to I-65 to State Road 43, where officers tried to pull Kurtz over, but Kurtz took off, accelerating to speeds exceeding 100 miles per hour. The car crashed in Brookston. Kurtz was taken to IU Health Methodist Hospital in Indianapolis. A minor in the back seat was taken to the hospital for examination. A third passenger in the car, Zachary Collins, fled the scene. Collins is also the subject of this week's fugitive search. He's 20 years old with blonde hair and blue eyes. He's 5'8", weighing about 140 pounds. Lafayette police say a warrant was issued for his arrest more than a week before the high-speed chase, after he failed to appear for a court hearing in a marijuana possession case. Detectives say he has prior addresses in Lafayette, Tippecanoe County, as well as White County. If you have any information as to the whereabouts of Zachary Collins, police ask you to call local law enforcement or that anonymous We Tip hotline. The number is 1-800-78-CRIME.
A Montgomery County man is sentenced to nearly 2 decades in prison for molesting several boys under the age of 15. 25-year-old Jordan Roseboom pleaded guilty to 6 counts of child molestation on Wednesday. Roseboom served as a volunteer at Rock Point Baptist Church in Crawfordsville. In February, a parent and a child came forward with allegations that Roseboom had fondled and inappropriately touched a 10-year-old boy. He later admitted to deputies that he had touched 3 other 7th or 8th grade boys, but said they were sleeping and may not have remembered being touched. 6 years of his sentence will be served on probation. And former Purdue football player Dwayne Beckford is sentenced to nearly 5 years of suspended jail time for possession of a synthetic drug and probation violations. The punishment comes from cases in separate courts. Tippecanoe County Prosecutor Pat Harrington says in Superior Court 4, Beckford received 2 years of suspended jail time, 2 years with a community corrections service, and 10 days of community service for possession of drug paraphernalia with a prior conviction and possession of a synthetic drug. In Superior 6, Harrington says Beckford was sentenced to 6 months of community corrections and an extra year of supervised probation after violating probation multiple times. Beckford was a starting linebacker for the Purdue Boilermakers until former head coach Danny Hope dismissed him from the team last August.
A Logansport police officer is taking part in a new program where he'll be spending his days in the classroom with elementary students.
News 18's Holly Campbell reports how the program is designed to help set young children on the right path.
I've been a police officer now for 24 years.
Logansport police officer Danny Ferris is taking on a new role after more than 2 decades in law enforcement. Ferris is spending his days walking the halls and teaching in Logansport's elementary schools.
So our job was going in, we sat down with them, pretty much let them know that police officers are humans too. We're here to help them. And we sit down with them, help them do schoolwork and whatever they need. You know, if they're having a bad day, they may just come and sit down and just tell us about their day.
It's all a part of a new program that launched this month called Police and Teachers Helping Students, or PATHS. Ferris will spend 1 week a month at each of the 4 Logansport elementary schools. This week, he's at Landis Elementary, where Principal Rita McLaughlin says the students have been waiting all month for his visit.
He's also in our lunchrooms, so they all run around and talk to him during lunchtime, and they just sit down and talk about. It's just a different way to look at a policeman.
Getting good grades, listening, doing what you're supposed to do, that's the way to go.
The purpose of the program is for officers to connect with students, something 4th grade teacher Shelby Graham says is important.
I think it's great. I think it'll give them a positive experience with police officers. Sometimes children these days, only time they experience or they see a police officer is in a negative setting, and this gives them a positive look at police officers.
With help from grant money and funding from the Logansport Police Department, Ferris will plan lessons and programs focused around bullying and cyberbullying, something he says he sees every day as a police officer.
You can send somebody a message anymore in 2 seconds. So I think it needs to be taught, and it needs to be kind of stressed, the importance of not doing it and how to take care of it when it does happen.
But Ferris says the most important lesson may be teaching students police officers are their friends. Holly Campbell, News 18.
For 2 years, an 11-year-old in Clinton County has been learning to live with type 1 diabetes.
When we come back, we'll introduce you to a very special dog who's been giving the girl and her family a helping paw.
This portion of News 18 is brought to you by Menards.
Arby's is best known for freshly sliced meat. But what about their fish? Captain Skip, is this really where Arby's gets their fish?
Well, sure it is. We catch them wild and fillet them when they're freshest.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, we do.
Arby's 2 for $5 Real Big Filet. A meaty cut of Alaskan whitefish lightly breaded to crispy perfection. 2 for just $5. Arby's. Sliced fresh. Great taste.
Unclaimed freight notice this weekend at American Freight. Over 1,000 truckloads of living room furniture. 7-piece living room groups that include a sofa, love seat, coffee table, 2 end tables, and 2 designer lamps. You get all 7 pieces from only $398 complete. Free layaway till tax refund. Same-day delivery. Come to the loading docks this weekend only at American Freight in Lafayette, 3233 Teal Road, next to Pizza Hut. 474-2111. That's 474-2111.
When you have nothing left and you find something more. When every muscle, every bead of sweat pushes us beyond our limits. In that moment, the athlete in all of us is born. The sports medicine specialists at Lafayette Orthopedic Clinic treat athletes of all ages. When an injury takes us out of the game, Lafayette Orthopedic Clinic is there to repair, reconstruct, restore. We put you back where you belong, in the game. Lafayette Orthopedic Clinic, the area's premier orthopedic and sports medicine center.
The women we love, the women who love us, they are dying. Heart disease is our #1 killer, taking more lives than all forms of cancer combined. But we have the power to save those lives, our lives, because the greatest force for women is women. It's time to stand together, to fight harder, to shout louder. It's time to go red for women.
Slick roads, blowing and drifting snow, low visibility, freezing temperatures, closures, and delays.
Winter weather is more than just a forecast.
News 18 has all the information you need to help you through any severe winter weather.
While it may be difficult to see through this severe winter weather, you can always trust that News 18 has the full picture to get you through the winter weather.
News 18, winter weather from where you live. You're watching News 18 at 6. News from where you live.
Having a child with type 1 diabetes can often be a full-time job.
But one Frankfort family has gotten a little help thanks to man's best friend. News 18's Elizabeth Rentschler introduces us to a dog who's not only a lifesaver, but has become one child's favorite new companion in our next Eye on Kids segment.
It was back in 2011 when 11-year-old Sierra Dysinger was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. And for the last 2 years, it's been a 24/7 commitment.
She has to check her sugar, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and then 2 hours after each. And then, of course, anytime she has a problem throughout the day, she has to check. So normally she checks 8 to 12 times a day.
Anna Dysinger says she also wakes up at least 3 times a night to check on Sierra. But that all changed when Anna saw a posting on Facebook for diabetes alert dogs. As soon as she saw the posting, she knew what she had to do.
I said, and where do you get one of those?
8 months later, the family welcomed 5-month-old Nevaeh into their home. Anna says Nevaeh is trained to warn Sierra when her blood sugar gets too high or too low. Nevaeh uses natural alerts like yawning, licking, and sometimes she'll even get a runny nose. In fact, midway through our interview, Nevaeh began to sense something wasn't right with Sierra.
She's alerting right now.
Yes.
Actually.
What is it? Is it your girl?
And she was right. Sierra's blood sugar tested at 220 when it should be between 80 and 200.
220. Good high. Good high, Nevaeh.
And once Sierra tests her sugar,
as soon as Sierra tests, that runny nose is gone.
Anna says Nevaeh will also alert her overnight if Sierra's blood sugar changes while she's asleep. With further training, Nevaeh will eventually be able to retrieve Sierra's meter and treatments and even be able to dial 911. Anna says while diabetes alert dogs can cost around $20,000, it's a price she says can never truly be repaid.
If Nevaeh saves her life one time, that is well worth it. You can't put a price on your kids. You can't.
Reporting in Frankfort, Elizabeth Rentschler, News 18.
Anna Dysinger says they have done fundraising activities throughout the year and have raised about $13,000 to help pay for Nevaeh. She says they will continue their fundraising efforts this year as well. For more information on how you can help contribute, log on to our website at WLFI.com, click on the Community tab, and then Eye on Kids.
WLFI's Eye on Kids is presented by Alcoa, Wabash National, Nanshan, and Franciscan St. Elizabeth Health.